I would like to call him the luckiest Marine in the 20th century, or like he likes to call himself, indestructible, but you can be the judge. Joining the Marine Corps at only 14 years old, he would end up becoming the youngest Medal of Honor recipient during World War II. Jacqueline Lucas, aka Jack Lucas, was born February 14th, 1928. Jack was always bigger than most of his peers at the age of 14, so in many ways he could pass as being older. Like many teens at the time who were eager to join the fight, he forged his mother's signature and joined the United States Marine Corps. I'm not shocked that it took the Marine Corps over a year to figure out Lucas's real age. When they finally figured it out, Lucas was relegated to just driving a truck full of supplies in Hawaii to help the war effort. But of course this would not be enough. Like any good Marine, Jack tactically moved aboard a transport ship known as the USS Duel, and this decision would be the deciding factor that cements Jack Lucas into the halls of history. This transport was on the way to the volcanic island of Iwo Jima, a battle so bloody it is remembered in the legacy of the United States Marine Corps and is still studied and revered today. Anywhere from 18,000 to 22,000 Japanese soldiers defended this very island. They would savagely fight and die the entire way, inflicting death on every inch of that island as well. Before we continue, I would like to thank today's sponsor, my Patreon. It'll be linked down below in the description, or it is also Liam in History. We are working on building a Discord community and working on more member benefits that will be coming in the future. Thank you to Anthony, Devin, and Joseph for being patrons. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now back to Jacqueline Lucas's story on Iwo Jima. The officers on board were a part of the 26th Marines and they had no idea who Jack was, and for that matter, his age. Without hesitation or even a second thought, they allowed Jack to join their unit and off Jack went to go fight like he always wanted. Jack would turn 17 on board the Duel and would take part in one of the first waves of the invasion of Iwo Jima, landing with the 1st Battalion, 26th Marines, 5th Marine Division. On Jack's second day on Iwo, he would go above and beyond the call of duty for his fellow Marines. Jack's gun was jammed, and he was trying his best under the constant fire and high stress levels to fix the problem. And during that time, Jack was the only one to notice 2 enemy grenades landed in the trench that he was in along with 3 of the Marines. Jack would shove a Marine out of his way while he shouted, "Grenade!" and threw his body onto the first grenade, and snagged the second grenade and pushed them into his body. Jack would do his best to shove each grenade as far under the sand as possible before they exploded. When they finally blew up, Jack would receive over 250 different pieces of shrapnel hitting his body. Lucas was tossed around in the air and was so gravely wounded and not able to move, the other Marines thought he was killed and kept pushing forward on their assault. Finally, some luck struck on the side of Jack. Another Marine came by and saw him and was able to flag down a corpsman who was able to help stabilize Jack as much as he could, and even killed a Japanese soldier trying to kill the both of them. Jack would finally be evacuated and be sent onto a hospital ship, where he would finally be properly treated. Jack would undergo 26 different operations to remove shrapnel from his face, torso, legs, hips. You get the point. Jack would remarkably recover and would spend months rehabbing his arm to get back to full health as much as he possibly can. Jack Lucas would be one of 27 servicemen to receive the Medal of Honor during the bloody campaign on Iwo Jima. On October 5th, 1945, Jack Lucas would receive the Medal of Honor from President Harry Truman. Jack would go on to serve his country once again. In 1961, he would join the United States Army as a captain in the 82nd Airborne. One famous encounter he had was surviving both of his parachutes malfunctioning on one single jump. He liked to think the reason he survived was due to his stout stature and quick thinking. Lucas wanted to serve in Vietnam, but of course they refused to let him go, and he left the military service entirely in 1967 as a captain. I also want to point out before we conclude that Jack survived a potential assassination attempt by his former wife, who wanted him to be shot in the head to make it look like it was a suicide. An undercover cop was the assassin, quote unquote, and his wife and brother-in-law were arrested. This overall is just absolutely nuts. We won't get into all of the troubles Jack had in terms of after his military service at this moment, so we will finish telling the story there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everybody has a great day. Remember to check the links down below in the description for sources and for my Patreon as well. Have a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video.